Good morning. Tell me a few words about yourself and your professional career.
Good morning. So my name is Alex. I'm 27 years old. I'm third engineer. Last 3 contracts I worked as third engineer. My last contract was container vessel. Main engine and auxiliary engines were Wärtsilä. And auxiliary engines were RT flex engines. So.
How long was your last contract? How long was your last contract?
4 months.
4 months? Did you work in a mixed?
Yeah, I worked in a mixed crew. Mostly it's Filipino guys. We had also one Indian boy, a mess boy. But mostly it's Filipino, and we had a German master.
I see. Let's talk about your responsibilities on the position of third engineer. What were you responsible for?
So due to my responsibilities, I had to actually check a lot of things and maintain it. So last contract, I was responsible for boilers, pumps, sewage treatment plants, of course, freshwater generator, for all auxiliary engines, of course, in cooperation with second engineer, because RT flex is quite a difficult one. It could be a difficult one. So actually purifiers as supportive mechanisms were up to second engineer. So he was responsible for actually all fuel systems. So these are actually about what I had to do. So I maintained these machinery. To talk about, let's say, safe round or watch. So when I come on watch, so it's 3:45, because I kept watch from 4 to 8. So I checked. So I went to engine room and I checked different mechanisms, machinery for abnormal noises, for knocks, for vibration. Also I checked for some leakages, for any leakages. Also we could have some features, some problems with some of the machinery. So also I checked some problems, and of course generally all parameters, so pressures, temperatures, and so on. So about watch, so as I said, I kept watch from 4 to 8. Before I actually started my watch, I did a safe round where I check all parameters, noises, knocks, and so on. Then I asked fourth engineer about processes that are on in engine room, and maybe I should continue doing something like repairing, maybe adjusting, or just maybe proper looking of something. So during my watch, as engineers, we just follow the PMS, the plant maintenance schedule. We maintained all machinery that we are responsible for. Repair, just
Tell me about, describe me some kind of serious breakdown you had in your last contract. What problems did you have with that machinery?
Okay, so there were 2 big problems, 2 breakdowns on my last contract. The first was a problem with emergency stop on main engine, and the second one, we had some cracks on cylinder liners on auxiliary engine number 1. So to talk about main engine stoppage. So under the main engine cooler, we have like a kind of small, let's say, funnel when some condensed water just went down, if we talk about past, went down, and we could regulate the temperature. We can adjust the temperature of the cooler, and once upon a time, second engineer didn't actually check that temperature. It was 55, and it wasn't enough for the air cooler. So we had more condensed water, and just below this funnel, we had emergency stop button. So some water just entered this button, and throughout 1 week we had problems with main engine, and we couldn't find why main engine actually stopped. It stopped all the time. So we started main engine, like we waited for 15 minutes, then main engine stopped. So, and we had this problem for 1 week. Of course, then we found it. The second problem at cracks in cylinder liner, I still don't know why. I have a guess that this is about taper clearance. The distance between valve stem and rocker arms. So we had to change cylinder units 3 times, like in 3 months, all cylinder units. So this is quite exhausting work.
And you haven't solved this problem with the units?
Actually, I can't say we solved it, because that's the technician came on board, and only together we did it, and only then.
Okay, good. Let's talk about boilers. What type of boiler did you have in your last contract?
So the last one was actually thermal oil boiler, and the contract before just steam boiler. So about thermal boiler, nothing special actually. Thermal boiler, so it was composite thermal oiler. Okay, a few more words. So a thermal boiler, I would say it's like a big drum, a pump, and pumps this thermal oil through all the tanks. This is extremely actually simple one, and the only we had one, let's say not problem but feature, to decrease the temperature in thermal oil boiler. It's quite difficult. So we have actually a dump cooler there. It's like a cooler with LT water from one side and thermal oil from other side, and we have like 3-way valve there. But that didn't work. So we, in case if we wanted to decrease the temperature, we just opened all tanks for heating. So this was like, let's say, a feature of that boiler. And the contract before, so just a standard steam boiler, also composite steam boiler, of course. So like gasket tank, we by the way kept 80 degree. Yeah, it was 80 degrees there in gasket tank. Then water space and steam space and consumers. Of course, we didn't have superheater, and the pressure was from 4 to 6 bars. So these are 2 boilers that I remember.
Describe me the preparation of feed water treatment. What factors do you check and how do you prepare it?
Okay, and do you mean in boiler?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so actually I did it with 4th engineer and even 2nd, because we had some problems with water. Okay, in thermal oil boiler, we actually don't have water in oil, of course. Yeah, we have some multi-system that cools it if we need. In just normal steam boiler, we have a condenser. So before gasket tank, like or sometimes we call it hot valve, we have condenser with seawater. If we don't have proper sealings there, probably some seawater come to fresh water, to like closed loop, to closed system, and this is actually dangerous for the system generally. So every week we check this water for salinity, we check salinity, we check hardness, presence of oxygen, alkalinity. So there are like officially there are like 8 parameters, but mainly there are maybe 4 or 5. So if we have some problems with that water, so we can blow it down. There are like 2 blow down valves in boiler, steam boiler, of the top level and of the bottom level. So we just blow down it and we replace that water. Mind that if we replace that water, if we change it to like a new portion of water, we have to add some chemicals to that water, yeah, to avoid some problems. Let's sum it up.